Coming up on Look Today, well, the town of Lake George plans to keep the roads safe while helping the environment. I've got details. And Ben Bernard, owner of the Glens Falls Dragons baseball team, will install a new Marquee video board. More on that coming up. And the annual Saratoga Springs Horse Show may have to find a new location for this season. I've got those details. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone. Happy New Year. I hope you had a safe holiday season. I'm Jay Hood Jackson and this is Look Today. Well, in tonight's program, I sit down with Ed Bartholomew. He's the president of the Warren County Economic Development Corporation, and he's here to talk about economic development coming up this year in Warren County, specifically broadband connections. I also sit down with Bob Turner. Now, he's the president of the Saratoga City Charter Review Commission. He's here to talk about the next steps the commission will take after a unanimous vote was cast to change Saratoga's current form of government. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties, but first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, in an effort to use less salt on our roads, the town of Lake George has purchased a new live edge snowplow. And a fund for Lake George donated a matching grant of close to $10,000 for the purchase. The plow was showcased at the second annual Save the Lake Salt Summit at the Fort Henry Conference Center. Now, ultimately, using less salt will help the environment and also help the town save money. So we spoke to Dennis Dickinson. He's a supervisor for Lake George.
So over the length of the plow, you have all these plates. They act individually. They're spring-loaded. So if your road is not perfectly flat, which most roads aren't, let's say it's arched a little, when you put the plow down, it'll conform to the arch. So in that manner, it removes so much more snow than a flat blade does. The residual snow is the issue. You apply your salt according to these residual snow that's on the road. So obviously, if you remove 90% of the snow instead of 75, you save yourself a tremendous amount of salt.
Nice going. All right, in other news, Ben Bernard, he's the owner of the Glens Falls Dragons baseball team, plans to install a video board in the Marquee sign at East Field in Glens Falls. Now, this will incur no cost to the city of Glens Falls. And according to Bernard, the Friends of East Field nonprofit organization will spend approximately $30,000 to purchase and install the video board. Well, we spoke to Ben about this.
You know, the Marquee is something special. I think the Civic Center over in, the Main Street has done very well with their Marquee, and we definitely need to do the same thing here. We're working with the city, the planning board, and everybody in the city council. So hopefully now, next step is to get that all approved, and we'll be all set.
Congratulations, Ben. All right, switching from news to weather. After a few days of some heavy storms, temperatures have risen to the high 30s. Let's see how the rest of the week is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, let's head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast.
Thank you, Jesse. As we check in on our first look weather forecast, still some cold weather to come, but we are dealing with some more heavier showers and thunderstorms across the region as we saw this low pushing across the Gulf Coast last night, bringing some very deadly weather at times across the Gulf Coast. Thankfully, this system really settled back down, but could still bring some heavier showers and thunderstorms, and followed up quickly by a second front. That's one's going to be bringing in the cooler air. So a bit of a 1-2 punch with us as we continue on through the overnight. We should keep those temperatures just above freezing. That doesn't mean we won't see some sleet and snowfall mixing in. Some wintry mix, 34 degrees with that northerly breeze coming on in, and highs tomorrow with a very limited warming and cloudy skies. We're reaching back up to 37, but we'll begin to see that snow and rain tap turn back off. A few early morning snow showers or rain showers not out of the question around lunchtime. Then we'll begin to dry back out. As we continue on over the next couple of days, we'll notice a couple things. Sunshine moves back in, but also colder temperatures, especially as we head towards the weekend. We'll see a daytime high of 28 Thursday, 26 Friday. Continue to hang in the 20s for Saturday and Sunday, but morning lows heading into the weekend both days down to about 8 to 9 degrees. So very, very cold weather upcoming over the next 7 days. Well, that's it from the Weather Center. Now let's get back to you, Jesse.
Well, thanks, Brandon, and we'll have more on that brand new weather forecast at the end of the program. All right, back to the news. The Saratoga Springs Horse Show organizers may need a new home this coming season. The auto grounds may not be available due to financial reasons. Now, the nonprofit horse show pays the auto grounds $1,000 for the 3-week event in May. And the horse show is run as a fundraiser by the nonprofit Capital Fund of Saratoga County. Now, we'll have updates on this when we talk to Tom Fuston. He's the executive director of the Capital Fund of Saratoga County. All right, up next, I sit down with Ed Bartholomew. He's the president of the Warren County Economic Development Corporation. He's here to talk about economic development coming up in Warren County in 2017, specifically broadband connections. Plus, I sit down with Bob Turner. He's the president of the Saratoga City Charter Review Commission. He's here to talk about the next steps the commission will take after a unanimous vote was cast to change Saratoga's current form of government. Big news. All right, but first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? Give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. Hey, again, Happy New Year, everyone. And also, you probably noticed we made quite an investment in upgrading our weather forecasting. You'll see new graphics, you'll see more detailed information, and something new. We'll have a daily ski report for the 3 mountains in our region, West, Gore, and Whiteface. I hope you enjoy it. And last but not least is kind of 2 things that you never do around here. You never show up with a haircut, and you never tell us when it's your birthday. Well, Drew tried to do that, and unfortunately we found out. And we were thinking about this, and Andrew Jesselin and I and Jack thought, you know, it kind of reminds us of tracks. Drew is in a great band called Paragon Saints, and they were playing their original songs, and Drew insisted on playing this song. None of us thought much of it at the time, but now it kind of makes sense. So happy birthday, Drew, from all of us, and here's a clip of them performing the song at Tracks.
It's that I bought myself